Uh-oh. Looks like we're on something a little bit different. Stick around. Well, hello again, Internet. Welcome back to the channel. Yep, we are on something a little bit different today. I'd love to say, well, I've always said, if I want a motorcycle, I'll go buy a motorcycle. So I ended up at a Yamaha dealership. And did I buy a motorcycle? Well, not bought anything yet, but I do want to show you what it is that I am looking at. And it is a Yamaha. Let's come right up to here. Yes, it's a Yamaha. And this is, I gotta kind of set it there where it's going to stay. This is the Yamaha Moro Pro. All right. Now, we talk about e-bikes on this channel. This particular bike right here is more about the bike than it is the E. All right. What I mean by that is usually we're looking at things that they really specify the E. You know, they're really putting all the bells and whistles on the E. This thing here, you're putting the bells and whistles on the bike itself. It's a 12-speed bike, has Yamaha's proprietary motor. Of course, full suspension, rock shocks, Yari in the front, which is a pretty good shock, or fork. I forget, I think the back one may be, I can't see what the back one is, but it's got rebound and air. Of course, certainly a dropper post, that's a give-in. 12 speed. The electronics on it, oh, it has a bell too. I'll be darned. The electronics on this are kind of underwhelming. It's a 500 watt-hour battery. And it is attached in between what in the motorcycle world would be called a wishbone frame. Of course, no throttle. This is class 1 all the way. And we'll pull that post on up a little bit and try this thing out. And my goal today, of course, the brake levers, let's talk about the brakes on this. They are 4-piston Magura 203 mil rotors. So this is a much higher quality of components than what a lot of what we're looking at. But where it comes to the electric part, you know, they're trying to base their bells and whistles here on the bike, not the E. All right, so we're out trying this thing out for a little bit. My main goal is to see how this bike does with the battery on it. And so I've just slapped together my ride with GPS so I can see the distance that I go, and I know what the battery was at when I left. No, that's not where I go up at. And I would be possibly using this as a backup when Michelle and I go out on our rides, and of course on my off-road stuff. This would definitely be used, no question about that. And so it's kind of important with that smaller battery, how far is this going to be able to make it? Would this make it as a backup bike for me on our trails that we take? Which means I have to have comfortably 30 miles, very comfortably, really comfortably 40 miles. And then I would be satisfied to use this as a backup. Will this make 40 miles? Well, we shall find out. How y'all doing today? Have a great day. And so we've used 5% of the battery. Coming by you on your left. Have a great day. And we've been about 2.5 miles, so far that's looking pretty good, and I've not been riding stingy with the battery, but I can tell you I can, because it pedals pretty darn easy just on its own. There's no power going into it here. This is a torque sensor, but it is probably, how you doing? A torque sensor like most people are not necessarily used to. Yeah, I cannot describe it unless you climb on this or something with a Bosch engine, maybe a Shimano motor. Really super impressed with the, oh, here we go. I know where we're at. Very impressed with the motor on this. Well, isn't that ironic? Last time I was here, it was right here where I revealed my new ride. Maybe that's what we're going to do this time around. Let's take a little hop skip down there and see what we've got here. So that's it. I don't know if I can do this because I've only got my chest cam on, but when you, if you would, just to give you a comparison, when I say this is about the bike, not the E, the bike, but take your suspension fork bikes, drop them and see if they just flatten out like that. Most of them are going to sit there and bounce a little bit. And of course it's the same. I can't really do the back end right here because I don't have no way of holding the fork still. But it's going to be the same on that as well. This thing is focused on the bike, not the electronics. So it's very minimal on the electronics. But like I said, I'm wanting to see what kind of mileage I can get on it. So, and I'm going to wait until we get down to riding it kind of liberally. I'm going to get it down to about 86%. That's going to be 10%. If I've got 5 miles in at 10%, I'm going to say that's going to be pretty good. I'm going to say that would be pretty good. We're at 3.5 miles and we're at 8%. I don't know. And that's this type of riding. Off the road, I am not a bit worried about what we're going to get. Matter of fact, let's see. Yeah, we'll go back down this way here. The other nice thing is without them brake cutoffs, I could wheelie this. I already seen that on a little hill back there. I don't want to do it too much because I wouldn't want to loop out their demo bike. And we'll bump it up in power just a little bit. Go up to about 15, 18 miles an hour. The gear shifting on this is super smooth. I forget what derailleur and shifter they have on this, but it is really smooth. Okay, it looks like we're going to get approximately 40 miles out of a battery charge. That's really not too bad. But we're going to wait all the way down until we get to the 96% and see where we're at. We're at 3.9 miles and we're only at 9% out. How y'all doing? And we're about to roll over to the 4-mile mark here. And we're still at 9%. That's kind of iffy to get that kind of mileage. We are at 4 miles and 9%. So according to that, I would end up at pretty consistently, as it's new, 40 miles. That would probably be enough for a backup bike. Because like I say, I don't think I would make this my #1 bike, but I don't know, it's awful fun. Now, the next question would be, the next motor is a bit more powerful than this one is. Would we want to go with this one or with the updated? We're at 4.2 miles, we lost 10%. So that's where we're at. So I think I'm going to wrap it up on there. Stay tuned and I will let you know if we decide to get one of these Yamahas or if we end up just updating. And how y'all doing today? If we end up updating and modifying our Trek bike just a little bit. So yeah, with that being said, hey, Southern E-Biking telling you, stay safe, God bless, and keep the wheels rolling. Once again, we're out.